You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast,
delivering a player experience news.
Let's go! What is up, guys, and welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 292. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM on Twitter, and I'm joined over Discord by the Nintendo aficionado and hardcore casual himself, Roshan Warner at Roro.
Hello, hello.
Hello, welcome back.
Thank you.
And the host of Large Popcorn and video producer at The Gamer, Christian Macias at ISO Christian.
Apparently the final reckoning is bad, so that means it's good. I hope.
We'll be the judge of that, right, Christian?
Exactly. Thank you, Dan.
And the reformed Tarkov Teletubby and what the fuck? That threw me off. Resident Embark Glazer? Who put that in there?
Oh, yeah.
And my fellow Spartan, Gage Dempster at Gilbo Biggins.
Ready to glaze, sir.
Is that
Ready to glaze? Permission to glaze?
Is that your new name? The Embark Glazer?
Hey, I'll take it, actually.
All right.
Let's get rid of Tarkov. We don't need to say the word Tarkov anymore. This has been slipping for years.
Oh, shit. See you, Tarkov. All right. Thank you to everyone that is watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time on youtube.com/@podcastpxn and twitch.tv/podcastpxn as well. Quick shout out to the people leaving comments this week. There was a couple comments that I responded to this week on YouTube comments. Thank you guys. And the topic of the show this week, guys, is Grand Theft Auto 6 reactions to last week's trailer number 2. We talked about it a little bit last week, but we're going to go a bit more in depth this week, as well as talking about some new information that we got after the trailer dropped as well. So, starting off here with the topic of the show, trailer number 2 got over 475 million views in just one day.
And was not enough to beat My Dress Up Darling Season 2, we've now learned. So,
Hell yeah.
suck it, Grand Theft Auto. Here's the problem with GTA 6 trailer. I no longer care. It's last week's news. I don't care about it.
What are you trying to do today? What are you doing?
I'm thinking about Andor. That's what I'm doing.
Oh my
God,
god.
no spoilers, please.
No spoilers.
Hey, why would I'm not a spoiler guy. You know this.
I know.
All right, fine. Grand Theft Auto. Here we go. Lucia.
All right. Before we get into the stuff that we didn't talk about last week and more in depth, I do want to hear from Ro, because he wasn't here last week, and hear his thoughts on trailer number 2.
Yeah, I watched it like 3 times, just here and there. But yeah, it looks obviously impressive. The graphics are insane. I like the story potential of it, like them being a couple, whether that changes or not, how that impacts the story. Sounds like it could be interesting. I saw like a couple of theories out there that sound like it could be a very dramatic story. So I'm interested in that. As you guys know, I'm not a huge GTA guy. I've played GTA 5, but I haven't played much of the other ones. I've played Vice City like at a friend's house once. But this looks very interesting. I think I would, like, for the story, I think I would play the story for sure.
Hell yeah.
I don't know.
Just like,
you're going to buy all the microtransactions too. No, I'm just kidding.
it's possible. It's possible.
Okay, cool. I don't see this
when I'm dressing up Lucia in nothing but like bikinis. I'm playing it for the story. I'm playing it for the story.
She did. You
guys are filthy.
It was
you guys are dogs.
What were you gonna say, Christian?
I don't see this in the doc anywhere. But there's rumors that a GTA 4 remaster might be on the way this year, which would be incredible. I would love to play that story again.
Okay. Yes. Hopefully it's a good port, not like they did with the last one until they fix it.
Where they just had AI do half of it, and then the other half was done by some unknown studio. Yeah.
Be interesting. Okay, so we had a lot of information last week. I didn't cover all of it. I do have a question for you guys. Do you want me to read off a bunch of the information from last week that we didn't get to go into?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let me pull that up real quick, but while I'm pulling it up, let me just throw in here a couple of other items for discussion. You mentioned, Christian, GTA 4 remaster. I also want to throw in here that there are many people thinking that possibly a Liberty City location could be a secret location in Grand Theft Auto 6, or maybe it's part of the game. Not sure, but there are a lot of hints towards Liberty City that people have pulled from the trailer. One example is there's a Liberty City license plate that has been spotted in the second trailer, which of course could just be like a nod to that game and just have, interesting ties to Liberty City without actually having that world exist. There's also Liberty City Cycles hat that somebody's wearing. Again, could just be or not a coincidence, but a more so an Easter egg for people. But what are the chances that we could actually get a full Liberty City extra map in this game? You think 0, Gage?
0% chance. I don't want to harsh anyone's mellow. Like, I get that everybody's like vibing and like, oh, what if? But like, a part of me is also kind of like, hey, we just got a really amazing trailer with some like insane content that we can see. I feel like people are shooting themselves in the foot by wishing for something that I think is a bit unrealistic. I think there is a 0% chance that Liberty City is recreated in GTA 6 in anything other than maybe like a cutscene flashback or something. I don't think it's feasible. And I don't think we need it either. I think we're gonna get more than enough content. I think it's quite possible that Vice City in GTA 6 might even be like roughly the size once you do all the scaling of Liberty City anyways. I feel like it might be kind of unnecessary to go and do that. I think the license plates and the hats is exactly what you were saying before. I think it's just nods and reminding players that there's now a universe of locations in the GTA kind of universe, I guess.
You done?
Yeah.
All right, Dan. Don't listen to this guy.
Oh
This is the studio that put the entire Red Dead 1 map inside Red Dead Redemption 2, fully explorable, just not part of the main campaign. You can just go there and explore the Red Dead 1 map. All right.
Wait, why don't you describe to the audience what the entire Red Dead 1 map consists of? Can I jump?
It wasn't that big. Yeah, please.
Hills, cactus, trees, one town called Armadillo. I like, if you look at everything in the GTA 6 trailer, look at the
buildings,
density of
sidewalks,
the traffic, the cars. If you wanted to recreate Liberty City in this engine, I feel like that's like a task that is like another 3 to 4 years of development. I don't think it's just a simple.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you. I think it's crazy people think that this map is in the game. I'm just being a dick just to be a dick.
They did delay it.
That's true.
They did delay it, yeah.
That extra year, you know what? That extra year for Liberty City.
Yeah, that was the year.
And
that's what they're doing.
About 17 years.
Have you guys seen the updates from like the first trailer to second trailer? People have been looking like side by side screenshottings. Like they uploaded some of the assets, like the facial models for these main characters look a bit different, but the fidelity in the background of a lot of these like either clips or images is like it went from being like what seemed like some kind of just like a flat asset to like there are real models and existing NPCs and stuff in the background that are like existing in these buildings, and they're just like totally in the background. Insane what that team is doing, huh?
Yeah,
absolutely. I think the other thing, and I don't disagree with you guys saying that that there's not a great chance of this being actually in the game. However, the project code name for Grand Theft Auto 6 was reportedly Project Americas with a S. So not entirely
True.
crazy that
But
they do.
I will say Vice City and Liberty City belong to the same America. So to me, I think Project Americas was that they originally had included some like South American locations or like other islands that you could fly to. To me, that would lend itself to the name Project Americas. I don't know. I think if anything, the more interesting question that is within the realm of possibility, and I brought this up last week, is that one of the descriptions of the locales mentions a northern border. It says this is located on the northern border of Leonida. What I'm curious about is if we could see something like Atlanta being added, right? If the northern state of I think it's Gloriana, people have been seeing license plates in this trailer of Gloriana, and that's I think people are thinking that's Georgia. If they could extend and add other cities immediately off the map by extending like the invisible walls or something like that, that could be interesting. I don't think Liberty City. I don't think they need to go back there, especially if there's any sort of credence to the GTA 4 ports or remasters.
Fair enough. One other quick little thing here before we go into more of the information from last week. There's also rumors that the game could include a 3v3 basketball game mode, and that was kind of on the back of us talking about the mini games last week. So I guess that may be one of those experiences.
Mini golf and basketball?
I just want to go kayaking
Kayaking
with the boys.
We're gonna be able to
diving?
log in to GTA 6 every weekend and be able to play like a completely different game inside of GTA 6.
Yeah. Maybe a different map too, like Liberty
We're
City.
gonna go to we're gonna go to the male strip club.
Of course.
They're gonna have a male strip club as well.
Yeah, have you not seen the posters
No.
like the strip club? So they have like female and men dancers.
All right.
So be prepared for the this game's woke comments online.
Incredible. All right. So moving into some of the info we kind of glossed over last week. We got a lot of information and screenshots, of course, as well to go along with this information of locations and people that are in this game. Let's talk about locations first. So right now they're talking about 6 locations. There could be more. I'm sure there may be more. But these are the ones they're highlighting right now. So our first one is Vice City, the glamour, hustle, and greed of America captured in a single city. Each neighborhood has something to offer, from the pastel Art Deco hotels and bright white sands of Ocean Beach to the bustling panderias of Little Cuba and the bootleg brands. I know I butchered that. And the bootleg brands of the Tishawaka flea market out to the VC port, the cruise ship capital of the world. Vice City. I'm fucking excited to go back to Vice City. Vice City is still my favorite location of any GTA.
May I ask why?
And I know this is going to be... I'm sure that I know what your next comment's going to be.
Oh my god.
What?
Okay, go ahead. Just go ahead.
Sorry. What? I love...
Finish it.
I loved
curious.
the setting of Vice City in the time period that it takes place in, because everything's neon and vibrant and colors and It's a very cool location for that aspect from Vice City. And obviously, I've seen the scuttlebutt online of people saying like, "Whoa, this isn't as colorful and neon as the other one." Sure, but we have maybe it will be. Maybe we'll see more.
Oh, I don't think you said anything controversial there. That's
Oh,
I
okay.
think the 80s because Vice City is like 80s inspired, isn't it?
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, I think that aesthetic is especially for that time was like such a difference. Like it's like the first time they did something like less not really what am I trying to say? Something a bit more inspired. It looked really good. I'm with you. Looked great.
Okay. So interesting. We also I just saw the image of the plane flying over Vice City, and it reminded me that people are talking about this game having 2 major international airports, which is quite interesting as well. And Gage has his hand raised.
Listen, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer
Here
this
we go.
entire episode. Here we go. I also was looking at her shirt that said, because so people
Yeah.
are getting this from,
The shirt.
yeah, obviously there's Vice City International, and we see that airport. And then Lucia is wearing a shirt that says Gellhorn International, and you can't make out what the rest of it is. So people are thinking that there's 2 international airports. Again, I don't want everybody to get themselves crazy expectations.
Yep, that's
It
fair.
looks like to me, when I look at that shirt, it looks like you can just barely see the back end of a car. I'm guessing that is Gellhorn International Racetrack and not a second international airport. I could be wrong. I don't think the second city is going to be that big. I am preparing myself for one big Vice City, which is going to be bigger than Los Santos and GTA 5, and then we're going to have a bunch of smaller cities. I could be wrong. I looked at the T-shirt. That's my read on it. It looks like a car on it, but I could be wrong.
That's fair.
Lucia, also originally from Liberty City. You know, Liberty City could have multiple airports in canon. Just one in Vice City, you get me? I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to contribute to the conversation.
And it could be another situation of them just having a nice Easter egg in there that she's wearing a T-shirt for another airport, not necessarily in this game, but
Right.
who knows?
Right.
We don't really know yet. Okay. Second location here, Leonid. What happened?
So I've just been scrolling the Rockstar website,
Oh.
and it's just like crazy some of the production work they did, like when you scroll and the things move. But also, I just got to looking at images of what the next location you're going to talk about is, and it just looks stunning, dude. With like literally the city way out there,
Yeah.
in the distance.
Yes, indeed. The next location, Leonida Keys. Life in this tropical archipelago. Fuck me. I don't know. Archipelago? Is that right?
There you go.
Good
There you go,
lord.
Gage.
Isn't flashy, but it's easy. Get your buzz on and pull up a deck chair, but look out. You're right on the doorstep of some of the most beautiful and dangerous waters in all of America. Got some beautiful water sites here, which is really cool how you can see like in the shallow part of the water, like you can see the dunes and stuff under the water. It's very well done. And like the fucking scuba diving with turtles, that looks insane.
The amount of like density in that one shot of like all the coral and the wildlife and the people scuba diving is crazy. I will say too, people have pointed this out. There's this one shot of the plane overhead on the Keys. I think this is the one Christian was talking about, where you can see the city in the background. But if you look to the left of that, people have kind of pointed out, it looks like there's maybe a rocket launch going off. There's this like trail going into the sky straight up. That would be cool if there was some sort of SpaceX parody in this game where there's like a launch pad that you can go to, and maybe instead of a military base, that's like the new 6-star area where as soon as you go there, right, you immediately get swarmed by cops.
Be very cool.
So they have nothing. Never mind.
What up?
That'd be crazy if you go to space. That's all. I'm just saying, like, if you go, if there.
Oh my god!
If you can
We're
board
gonna add Liberty City and adding space too.
Oh, you know what? You're on to something, Ro. Liberty City is on a different world, and that's why it's Project Americas, because it's multiple Americas on different worlds.
So legalized comedy, you know, colonize Mars, you know.
My goodness.
Incredible. Elon, did you join us? All right, the third.
That's the worry, though, right? Wasn't that Gage's worry that like real life is way more of a parody than anything Rockstar might be able to write? I'm hoping this is a more serious story, by the way.
It seems like it is, right? That's what I'm saying.
It does,
It seems like
yeah.
it's not really. You can't. I think if you were to hinge the whole game on the comedy aspect, like it would fall flat because of our current reality.
Absolutely.
All right. The third location here is Grass Rivers. You never know what lies beneath the surface of this primordial expanse. The gators may be the most famous attraction, but there are far deadlier predators and weirder discoveries among the mangrove. And this is the wetlands area. Exciting.
Or I'll spend the least amount of time in. I'm not a big marsh biome guy.
You don't want to wrestle gators?
Not particularly. You know what, though? There was that mission in Red Dead 2 where you're like out in the marsh and it's like super humid and foggy and you had to like drudge through like the swamp area and there are like gators around. That was kind of cool. That was a cool mission.
Wasn't there like like an extra large gator too? That was like a mission.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I believe it.
I don't know if it was a mission or if that was just part of their like legendary creatures like side hunting thing you could do, but there was like a massive like comically huge gator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Are Rockstar games good?
Yes.
They might be.
The fourth location here, Port Gellhorn. Cheap motels, shut down attractions, and empty strip malls won't bring the tourists back, but there's a new economy in this once popular vacation spot. It's fueled by malt liquor, painkillers, and truck stop energy drinks. Jump on a dirt bike and hold on to your wallet. We got our strip club here.
I think that's the one with the poster that everybody's looking at.
I think it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The lights.
You could say that it's going to delight.
Good.
I have a story, but it's not appropriate, so I'm not going to say it.
I went to GTA 5 strip club.
Well, it's with my cousin, but every time I say this, you never believe that it's actually my cousin, so I'm just not gonna say it.
Don't even bother, dude. We know it's not your cousin.
Okay.
Don't even bother with the story. We know the story too.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not where the story was going, but okay.
We'll never know.
You know how like in GTA, was it 4? If you got 3 dances in a row, like another person comes in. I watched him do it, dude. And by the time the other person came in, I saw him smiling and then he covered himself. And I was like, Jesus, dude.
Oh my gosh.
These are pixels on his screen right now, dude.
They were more than that to him, dude.
Oh, that was real life. All right. Our fifth area is Ambrosia, which is in the heart of Leonida. American industry and old school values still reign supreme, whatever the cost. The Allied Crystal Sugar Refinery provides the jobs, while the local biker gang provides almost everything else.
I'd say, besides the next one we're going to get into, this is maybe like my second most anticipated region. I think this is going to be
interesting.
All the dark alleys and old rundown refineries and empty buildings. Like this sounds like this could be ripe for some really fun RP moments and stuff like
What
that.
happened
This
then?
is,
I just realized that the poster on this, the billboard on this one screenshot where the bikers are going down the street, it says "Proud Allies of Diversity and Treats," and it has a rainbow behind it. They're parodying already.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see what they're gonna cook up.
I'm excited to talk about this next biome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. The next biome is the last biome, and that is Mount Calaga, a national landmark up against the state's northern border. Mount Calaga offers prime hunting, fishing, and off-road trails. In the lush surrounding backwoods, hillbilly mystics and paranoid radicals live far from the prying eyes of the government.
Look at that last screenshot, dude, with the little kayak there. That looks so fun.
He's ready to
There's
go.
somebody roaming around this area.
This could be really, yeah, it could be really cool vibes just kind of floating down the river, drinking a beer.
You know, the four of us trotting through the woods, right? If they've got the similar system to Red Dead 2, which it appears that they do, where it's like you got to bring only a certain amount of things with you. It's like, you know, you're trotting through with your rifle and nothing else, and there could be some serious vibes and good times with this, I think.
I'll tell you what excites me about like one of these first screenshots is the motocross dirt bike.
You're about to see.
Stuff.
Yep, I'm about to say the same thing.
Yeah, because like it looks like they may incorporate something like with dirt that they did with water with GTA 5 with clothing, where like if you got your clothing up to a certain point in GTA 5 in water, it would just show like the wetness up to that level of clothing, which is insane. And it looks like maybe they're doing something similar with dirt in this game, where it's like she's got it all over her and the bike has it all over her on certain spots. And it'd be really cool if it was like super dynamic, like depending on how the dirt's spraying up and stuff like that.
All right. Well, Uncharted did it in Uncharted 1 in 2007 with the water levels, but all right, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. What's exciting to me is like the possibility of like activities or missions where you're doing like insane like motocross stuff, or just, you know, anything to do with any side activities is going to be really interesting because of how diverse the biomes are. But also the fidelity here of like the main thing here is some kind of motocross event, and then in the middle of this, there's just a raccoon crossing this trail they've made. Yeah, I'm excited again.
It's like every single one of these images, like when they're zoomed out, displaying like the skyline and stuff. And I think Gage mentioned this with the when we were looking at the potential rocket ship. It's crazy how far you can see. And like this one in particular, the Mount Calaga one, you can only see trees here. But as we just like look through, we know there's like cities and all these other stuff to explore. And the fact that we can't see any of it so far in the distance is like, it's crazy that there's 6 more maps out there or biomes out there that you just can't see from here. And this is already so big. It's crazy.
It is insane.
And the inverse of that, which I mean, I'm just pretty much agreeing with you, saying what you're saying, but it's like I also looking back at the other images, I can't see any mountain ranges in those images. So it's like, what is the scale of like? People are suggesting that you know it's 2 times the size of GTA 5, but like when I look at these images, I'm like, it might be more. Like when I'm looking at the image of the back to that one with the keys and the rocket launch in the background, it's like I'm scanning the horizon and I don't see any mountains at all. So it's like maybe it's just off to the left, but at the same time, it's like it could just be so far away that like it just naturally comes into view. As I don't know, this map might be big.
Yeah, so big it incorporates another city.
Yeah, some people who have actually tried to piece together this map, and from the piece together map that people can come up with, it seems like the map size is at least double what GTA 5 was. which is crazy. All right. Enough about locations, unless you guys have something else about locations.
No, I have more on characters and story, but I'm waiting to see what's next.
That's what we're going into next. Characters. So, Jason Duval is, of course, one of the main characters. Jason grew up around grifters and crooks. After a stint in the army trying to shake off his troubled teens, he found himself in the Keys doing what he knows best, working for local drug runners. It might be time to try something new.
Jason.
Bro, go ahead and tell us this rumor that we've all heard about on X, the Everything app this week.
That if we're thinking about the same one, that he is an undercover cop, right?
Are we all buying this? Are we all into this theory or not? I'm back. I've gone back and forth on this. I'm leaning towards no. I don't think it's true.
I don't know. It's tough because I'm gonna relate this to The Last of Us Part 2. When they did that initial reveal trailer, there were some people like myself that ended up correctly guessing the plot because it was like, oh, Joel's clearly dead. That's why he's being represented as a silhouette, blah, blah, blah. And then there were some people that were like, well, that's so obvious they wouldn't do that. Obviously, it's got to be a misdirect. And that has kind of messed me up now because I'm like, my gut reaction was that the trailer is an intentional misdirect. It's too obvious that Rockstar wouldn't do that. They're not going to make him a Fed. But at the same time, I'm like, well, Naughty Dog did, and the game, and in my opinion, the game ended up being great anyways, regardless of the fact that they teased the plot line. It doesn't matter because the execution was good. So I don't know. I think it's 50-50. I could see it happening. Knowing previous GTA games, more specifically 5, I'm guessing there will be alternate decisions that could be made. Maybe that hinges on choices that the player makes. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it.
I think for me, I can see it, right? I can be convinced based on the way he carries himself, the way he's dressing, connections with other pieces of images and little snippets of video. But I think for me, the note on this story being so heavily inspired by Bonnie and Clyde, these criminal, couple, and then some of the other characters who are inspired by things like Michael Mann's Heat, and then things like Inherent Vice, and this is going to be leaning more towards a crime story. Not to say that you can have some Fed elements in there, maybe, right? But I think for me there might be written more towards that criminal lifestyle. I don't 100% buy that Jason's undercover. Then again, Fast and the Furious, that
That's
happened.
true. Yeah. Or maybe they do something like a prologue where Jason is undercover just for an extremely small part of the prologue, and then you go into the full game that takes place years later or something, and he's full-blown criminal. I don't know.
Dan, I kind of lean towards what you're saying in my own personal headcanon, which is that he maybe starts off the prologue of the game as an undercover cop, meets Lucia, decides, damn, what am I doing being a straight edge for? I'm going to, leave this for that, obviously. And then maybe and then he genuinely becomes a criminal with her, and then it gets brought up and thrown in his face later, and then that becomes a plot point. I could see that happening. I don't think that you'll be playing as an undercover cop, if that makes sense. I don't think they'd be able to square that away with you being able to do an indiscriminate amount of crime, and just the FBI's it's all part of the mission, I guess. You ran down 30 pedestrians in a crowd, but hey, did you get the link or not? Come on.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Meeting Lucia could be the best or worst thing to ever happen to him. Jason knows how he'd like it to turn out, but right now it's hard to tell.
That's an interesting, that kind of backs up what we're saying. Interesting.
Look, I've seen 2 minutes of this game, and it's more closer to release form. I'm telling you right now, I will give up everything for a life with her.
He's based again?
Wait, remember the thing you said about your cousin about it being pixels?
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Listen, have you seen the images of like there was like that people were like slowing down the gif of her in that, dress, and they're like the physics, the jiggle physics. And people were in the comments like, what about her feet though?
Insane.
That was wrong. Incredible.
I really like the idea of I like the undercover cop thing. Like I feel like that would be dramatic, but I like the idea of them being criminals in love a lot more. I think that would be a lot more fun.
Mhm.
And that could do a lot more with that story. And yeah, there's just so much less for us to guess if that's what they do, like what they do with the story. Like there's only one way this ends if he's an undercover cop, I feel like.
Right.
Which is that they break up and he betrays her or something and something crazy.
And like the last GTA game, we already had Michael working with, was it the FBI or who was he working with?
Yeah.
Some sort of
FIB.
agency.
I don't want it
FIB.
again.
Right.
Yeah. Very interesting. And that I think
Or
that
the FIB. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I think that also may be part of their like misdirect in the prologue of this game, where they're like, maybe people think that, and then although they've been pretty open about never mind. They've been open about their relationship, so I guess that kind of ruins that.
GTA 5 prologue was in Virginia or whatever the equivalent is, right? Or in a snowy city that you never go back to again.
Yeah.
What if the prologue is in Liberty City?
Could be.
Hey, that would be fair.
Could be. All right. Speaking of Lucia Caminos, and she. Let's see. Life has been coming at her, swinging ever since. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, I missed a line. God damn it. Lucia's father taught her to fight as soon as she could walk, and life has been coming at her, swinging ever since. Fighting for her family landed her in the Leonida Penitentiary. Sheer luck got her out. Lucia's learned her lesson. Only smart moves from here.
I think of all the character descriptions, this is the most interesting one. Where in terms of how does this work? Because I think we will see the events leading up to Lucia going into jail. The first trailer, I mean, we see her in jail speaking to her custodial or whoever parole officer, and so I'm thinking, are we gonna get a prologue similar to that of GTA 5, where we're seeing a bank heist gone wrong, and then you play as Jason for the next little while until you go pick her up? And if that is true, I mean, are they together beforehand? Are they not together beforehand? It's very interesting. Like, of all the character descriptions and little tidbits, this is the one that throws the biggest wrench into my like theories of like, how is the layout of this story gonna unfold?
She's always wearing her AirPods, and I never notice. But like when you zoom in, you can just see her she's wearing them in the pool. She's wearing them when she's working out. It's just crazy to see that.
Which is cool because I'm guessing they'll use that in game as a way to kind of have your radio on all the time if you want to listen to music, right? You don't have
Yeah.
to.
Oh my god.
Smart.
Kayaking with the AirPods in.
And because it's Rockstar and because the fidelity of everything they do is so, they're perfectionists. I can only imagine that the sound mixing is going to be really cool, where like you'll mostly just hear the music until something happens, and then the music will either fade down or they'll do some sort of manipulation effect where it's like you're wearing earbuds and you can kind of hear other things going on too. I can't wait. It's going to be very, very cool to see what they do with that.
Intricate animations to put the earbuds in.
Yep.
One of them breaks and the music only comes from one side.
That would be cool.
You got to take
Right?
it to a repair
If you
shop.
get shot in the head, that's what happens. There's a chance for one of your earbuds to break.
Jesus. All right. Then we have Cal Hampton. What if everything on the internet was true? Jason's friend and a fellow associate of Brian's, Cal feels safest hanging at home, snooping on Coast Guard comms with a few beers and some private browser tabs open.
Dude, this guy is so gauge coded. It's crazy.
That's so
Wow.
rude.
Dude, look at the hat. Look at that. Look at his hat. Then look at Gage's hat right now. Like, look,
Oh my god, I'm gonna do
the
myself
little
any
mustache,
favors,
little
huh?
goatee,
That last shot of him with his arm
with the tongue out
crossed-
at mini golf. Oh no.
Yeah. Well, no, I wasn't talking about that, but that's funny too. I was talking about the one his backwards cap and he's got his arm up propped up. That looks like Gage right there.
That's crazy.
God, guys, look at the hair, dude. The way it like falls on the shoulder, then moves as he like turns around.
Interesting. And then we move down to Booby Ike. It's all about Heart, the Jack of Hearts. Booby is a local Vice City legend and acts like it. One of the few to transform his time in the streets into a legitimate empire spanning real estate, a strip club, and a recording studio. Booby's all smiles until it's time to talk business.
I don't have much to say. Go ahead.
I have a feeling that we're gonna have a story that is somewhat similar to that of Red Dead Redemption 2 in the sense that it feels like they're setting up a cast of like close. I'm not gonna say gang
Yes.
members. I'm guessing that everyone like I don't think Booby Ike is gonna be going back to home base with Lucia and Jason, but it seems like they are setting up a tight knit sort of circle of tomfoolery that you're going to be closely associated with. Cal Hampton especially seems like he's probably going to be like the comedic relief, and then maybe will die like 2/3 of the way through the game, and it'll be a big moment or something. But like with Booby Ike and Draquan and all these other characters, it seems like there's going to be like a motley crew of like somewhat loosely tied together people that are going to be working with the two main characters that we're playing with.
Something that I missed from GTA 5 that was really prominent in GTA 4, and then I think comes back with Red Dead 2, is the side roster of characters like impacting the main story, and like you do like a whole series of quests with them that you like get to know them, and then you can like hang out with them, just on your own free will. I'm thinking of like Little Jacob from GTA 4 as being like such a like a special one for me. And I'm getting this impression from some of these characters, like this guy you just mentioned. What was his name? Not Booby. The other one, the Gage guy, Hal. And then someone later on that I want to talk about later that has me the most excited, because I don't think that is a bit missing from GTA 5. I remember, what's his name? Trevor? No, not Trevor. Franklin's homie.
Lamar.
Lamar?
Yeah.
There's Lamar,
Lamar.
and then maybe there's like Lester a little bit, but like I don't remember that many side characters being so prominent in that game. So this one seems like to be kind of going back to the old ilk.
And then we move into Draquan Priest, which I think Gage mentioned. Only raw records. Draquan was always more of a hustler than a gangster. Even when he was dealing on the streets to make ends meet, breaking into music was the goal.
Oh, look, the manatees are the
dolphins.
Looks like the foot. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Very funny.
I wonder if they'll have some kind of activity where you can like do music production, because there have been images of like an FL Studio like program in the game.
That'd be pretty cool.
Then we move into female protagonists here. Real Dimes, viral videos, viral hooks. Baylux and Roxy, aka Real Dimes, have been friends since high school. Girls with the savvy to turn their time shaking down local dealers into cold, hard cash via spicy rap tracks and a relentless social media presence.
I think there's a shot with one of them in the trailer where she's doing finger guns and she says brap brap brap, and I think that's actually maybe one of my favorite shots in the trailer, only for the fact that it shows how far Rockstar's animations have come, where even some of their better games like Red Dead 2 have suffered from like some of the animations looking a little clunky with the characters and how they move, and it's just the subtleties of her animation stuck out to me, where I'm like, oh, we're getting to the point where like the fidelity is really good in terms of the animation, and they don't feel like some of Arthur's movements kind of feel apish and like a little bit like cumbersome kind of. But this one, I noticed that animation stuck out to me, where I'm like, oh, this looks like real people moving and being silly.
Dude, these girls have lore. An early hit single with local rapper Downplay took Real Dimes to new heights. Now, after 5 years and a whole lot of trouble, they're signed on to Only Raw Records, hoping lightning can strike twice. I would love a little side story.
I think you're gonna get more than a little one.
I'm so excited for this next dude.
Well, then let's just talk about him. Raul Batista. Experience counts. Confidence, charm, and cunning. Raul's a seasoned bank robber, always on the hunt for talent, ready to take the risks that bring the biggest rewards.
This is the dude. I don't know if this is true or not, but supposedly inspired by Val Kilmer from Heat. And there's that little GIF you can look at that just looks like it's ripped out of a Michael Mann movie. I know the fan favorite mission from GTA 4 was the bank heist, and I know that like they built that around GTA 5. Like, will they do it a third time? I don't know. You know, will it be tired by then? But like anything to do with these kind of heist missions, I think are always a big hit in GTA. So like the possibility of doing something with that scale, but in Vice City could be really, really interesting, especially with how big that map is and how like seemingly like you'll be able to like traverse in all kinds of manners, escape via boat, or do something with like, you know, something to do with like in the Keys and then go up to the, you know, the wilderness. I don't know. I really don't know, but yeah, the possibility of it is exciting.
I want to make a comment, but I don't want Christian to come at me, so I'm not going to say it.
Oh,
You can say it.
I think we're running into this. I'm getting echoes of the Modern Warfare 2, the newest Modern Warfare 2, where I'm like, we saw that guy with the amazing hair, and everybody was like, yeah, this guy's going to be the fan favorite. And then I'm seeing this again, and I'm like, this is just the same thing again. There's just a tall, dark, handsome man with long, wavy black hair is just a recipe for like, yeah, this guy's going to be the fan favorite. If you saw him, you'd know exactly who I'm talking about. I can't remember the character's name at all. But he was like Mexican Special Forces, and you worked with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And from the first trailer, I was like, this guy has got the vibe. He's got the aura.
But like, that is like, you know, the new wave of Infinity Ward studio writing versus Rockstar writing.
No, for sure. I'm just saying the vibe of that character, where I saw this guy, I saw that GIF, and I was like, I'm getting the same feeling where I'm like, this guy's gonna be the guy with the aura that everybody is like, yeah, this guy fucking rocks.
Oh, I get what you're saying now. Yeah, absolutely. Steals the scene when he comes on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, he looks cool.
And the last character that we have a look at here, Brian Heater. Nothing better than a mudslide at sunset. Brian's a classic drug runner from the golden age of smuggling in the Keys, still moving product through his boatyard with his third wife, Lori. Brian's been around long enough to let others do his dirty work. This dude is seasoned. He's fucking ready.
For me, when I think ex-cop, I think this guy.
Yeah.
Are we thinking this is Stephen Root? I saw a lot of people saying that online, and it does sound an awful lot like him.
A little bit.
Interesting.
Brian's letting Jason live rent-free at one of his properties, so long as he helps with local shakedowns and stops by for Lori's sangria once in a while.
You could stop in for a sangria.
Oh my god, dude! The shot of Lucia grabbing the gun out of the trunk and the hair falling on the. Oh my god!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the hair.
What if you can go like
insane.
It looks good, right? Yeah. What if you can go like whale watching or like deep sea fishing or whatever, or just like
Even
harpooning or something? I don't know.
you know what? Watching that same GIF, Christian, even the way like her short shirt is like folded a little bit, like creased. It's like
Oh, on one
attention-
side, yeah.
Yeah. The attention to detail is insane. All right. So that's the people and the places of GTA 6.
Do we want to talk about maybe like a quick little like wish list? What is something that you want from it?
Sure, but real quick, I forgot this was in here. On the back of that attention to detail thing, someone actually posted a screen or one of the screenshots Rockstar shared of someone riding a bike with flip-flops on, and the flip-flops are underneath the pedals with the foot above the pedal. Like, the detail is insane to that
Mhm.
level.
Can I say Rockstar is also outing how many people are just terminally online and that's it? Where the amount of people I saw that were saying that was a bug or that was like a glitch that they had found.
Absolutely.
I'm like, oh, there's a new generation of people that are gonna like spend majority of their time online and not have any real world experience to draw from. There were so many people that were confident about it too. Like, oh, look at this! I finally found a mistake in a rocks. I'm like, dude, that's real life. That's what people do. with
Brother, have you been
flip-flops.
outside and seen like the guys who have DUIs and have to bike to the liquor store to get their
Right.
their fix?
True.
You've clearly never felt the pleasure of a graded bike pedal on the underside of your foot before, because it feels amazing.
I'm sorry, what did you want to go into, Gage? Before
If anybody has like quick like what's something you want to see from it that you haven't necessarily seen, or like a gameplay feature or something, right? Is there anything that you're like, I want GTA 6 to have this in it?
Let me
I mean, Christian mentioned whale watching and deep sea fishing, right? You could say that's one.
Let me just say something that's maybe not. This isn't like a high priority, but it's like something that I feel like GTA games have done very well, and that's cheat codes. I want to see like old school
Yes.
cheat codes.
Sure.
Old
Okay,
school
then
replayability. Yeah.
I'll add to this. GTA 4 ragdoll physics.
Right.
Bring that back. That was so fun.
I did feel okay, so I'll jump on that. GTA 4. Because I feel like GTA 5 was not only a step down in terms of ragdoll physics, I feel like it was also a step down in terms of the soft body like vehicle physics that GTA 4 was known for. Now, GTA 4 obviously was like turned up to like 11, and it was a little bit silly how the vehicles handled. But like, I don't know, man. Like, there was something about GTA 4 where like you're driving an intersection and you T-bone like a van or something, and then there's like a U just like indented into the van and it's like wrapped around your car. I would love for them to go back to that and turn that up a little bit, because I felt like GTA 5 kind of felt a bit more like a Forza game where it's like, oh, it's a little bit dented and it'll just keep getting a little bit dented until the bumper falls off and that's it. And that's like the only level of deformation.
This is so weird, but I'm kind of hoping GTA Online does not release at launch.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm for like first of all, I want this to be a well-crafted story, like so, a bit more of a serious story. Not to say like you can't have satire on it. Obviously, that is Grand Theft Auto, but like I want an immersive story where I'm like existing in this world, almost RPG style, the way I felt when I was playing RDR 2. I want something like that that'll like be like the main takeaway from the game for I don't know. Let's call it like 2 or 3 months, right? You have your summer with the main story, and you like immerse yourself and you see everything there is to see over the course of a while, and then finally you get into like the fall, or I guess what's 3 months from May, like August, right? Or late summer. You drop GTA Online, and it's like an event, and everyone comes back to GTA or stays on GTA, right? And the game stays in the zeitgeist much longer. I think doing it that way, might be pretty cool. But who knows? I don't know if it'll come out at launch or not. GTA Online.
Right.
Ro, did you Did you have something that you wanna see that we haven't seen yet? Like a feature you wanna see?
No, I can't think of anything besides what you guys have said. I think my biggest hope is what Christian said, is like just a good story, really engaging story. That's what I'm hoping for, as someone who doesn't play a lot of the GTA games. I'm hoping to fall in love with the story,
Oh yeah.
because I'm already in love with Lucia. God.
Aren't we all?
I do have to bounce out now.
Yeah.
9.
Thank you, Ro.
Okay.
Thank
you.
It was good talking with you.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Enjoy the show.
I'm very excited for the immersive elements of, like, you know how in RDR2 you can get fat or your like hair grows out
Yes.
and you gotta shave and stuff. Seems like Jason could do the same thing where like his hair is growing out, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the like build your character the way you want to, then go to the shop and style them however, have outfits saved. That's cool.
And you're essentially
say-
living in that world at that point. To your point earlier about GTA Online not needing to come out right away, I agree with you. I think that kind of stuff would help lend itself to like make it feel like you're living in that world, and then 3 months later or whatever release GTA Online. I think that's solid.
Yeah, I think for me it's like the biggest thing that Rockstar could do to improve over its last GTA games, because obviously we can already see fidelity, animation, all that stuff. They're already doing it. The one thing that is yet to be confirmed that I hope is in it is just using this RDR2 systems as a way to balance the game. Like for me, GTA Online really falls, and even to a certain extent GTA 5 single player, but mostly GTA 5 Online. It all falls apart when it becomes like such a ridiculous sandbox that there's no real consequence for anything. Like you can just pull out your minigun at any time and spray down a helicopter and then put the minigun away and sprint away. Like I'm really hoping they lean into the weapon system of Red Dead 2, where it's like you can only carry a certain amount of things on you. I think it'd be really cool. Like you guys were talking about that last GIF on the Rockstar page of Lucia. She's like tucking a gun in behind her pants and then closes the trunk. It would be really cool if you holster a gun, that it's like showing from the back of your jeans, and like if you try to go into a club, they're like, no, sorry, you can't come in here. Just little things like that are equal parts immersive, but then also add to gameplay balance, where it's like, no, you can't just bring anything anywhere with you. If you want to be a degenerate and go shoot up that office building, then you need to sort of sneak away into it or figure out XYZ. If you want to bring or like if you want to, like, say they add holsters to the game, right, where you can dress your guy up in a millet, like you've got body armor, you've got holster on. That's cool, but then nobody's gonna let you in anywhere. Like stuff like that, where it's like that would be a really cool way to sort of balance gameplay design and immersion, I think.
You got to pick up a hoodie so that you can conceal your gun in your waistband.
That's awesome.
Right, or if you have like the little chest holsters, right, coming back to Heat, something like that. It's like, oh well, wear a jacket over it, and now you've covered that.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I would love an overhauled just clothing thing like that. Like have your hoodie on, just click of a button, just put the hood on.
Right.
You're more stealthy, I guess.
Which I think we could see, right? Because in Red Dead 2, you could that weapon wheel, they added like pages to it where there's other levels of interactivity. And I remember in Red Dead 2, you could take your gloves on and off. You could pull your bandana up and down. So I think it's
I used to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Very cool. GTA 6. Anything else before we move on, guys?
Can I say, I'm that weirdo who in RDR2 would dress weather appropriate. So if it was getting really hot outside, I would take my jacket off.
This is the stuff I'm not gonna say out loud, but I'm excited for in GTA 6. You better believe it.
Yeah. We're going to the beach. I'm wearing tank top and shorts and flip flops, whatever.
What if the game takes all of that into effect, and so say you're wearing a hoodie on the beach, like you see like sweat coming out of you, and your hoodie starts to get sweat stains on you, and like it's real time.
That sounds like
maybe
that'll happen probably.
Yeah.
maybe like a different animation. Like he's kind of like if you try and sprint on the like if you're under the sun, you're wearing jeans and a hoodie, and you're trying to sprint. He does like a little bit of like a hobbling.
That even furthers your idea of having the holsters and the hidden items thing, because you have to think about whether you're concealing your items and the impact of the weather that's going to have. So as it's super hot, you can't really layer up and hide your guns. That's super interesting, actually. I like that.
That'd be awesome.
Go deeper. Just you have heat stroke and you die, and the game says wasted. Oh, have you seen? Go ahead.
That would be funny. First of all, that would be great for them to add to the game, and that would be a very memeable thing that would trend on social media. That would be awesome if you sprint and like they got the core system. If all of your cores are 0 and you keep pushing your character to the max, and eventually ragdolls in the sand.
Have you seen the videos online of like what GTA would look like if it was realistic when you die? So instead of doing the wasted screen, it just cuts to black. It's disturbing.
It's just a little morbid.
Yeah, like there was someone speeding on a bike and they take a turn too wide and they crash like onto oncoming traffic and just cuts to black, and I'm like, oh my god.
Jesus. My gosh.
No PC at launch, huh? We didn't talk about that.
Of course. I don't think we're surprised by that, are we?
Yeah. No, I'm not.
Take all the time you need, because it would be heartbreaking to see that, minimum specs 4070. That would be would be brutal.
It probably will be when it comes out on PC.
Well, hold on. If the what's the Series X? The Series X is a 2080, give or take.
Yeah, I think roughly, maybe.
Take as much time as you need to try and get it to like maybe like 3050 is minimum or something. But like that's my biggest worry, is that the game comes out and. But then also, is this game not just going to be like an economic driver for so many industries, where it's like it comes out, it has high specs, and then sales of GPUs skyrocket because people just have to play it on PC?
Unless they can't afford it, which leads us into the news of the week. Unless you guys have something else. All right.
The mods for Lucy are going to go crazy.
Hot coffee? Is hot coffee even going to be a mod, or is it going to be a feature at this point?
Oh, jeez.
Hot matcha. Hot boba.
God.
All right. News of the week, guys. I put one item in here because I knew we'd talk a lot about GTA. So tariffs and price increases is the subject matter for the news of the week. There is a chart here from Daniel Ahmad, ZhugeEX from Twitter, where he's posting potential consumer impact of administration's tariffs. So old Trump's tariffs and their impact that they could have around the industry. Some pieces of note for the video game industry in particular. Computer accessories could go up 24.8%. Desktop computers 24%. Video game consoles 69.4%. Monitors 31.8%. Speakers and headphones 22.3%. Huge percentage increases across the board there for video game hardware, rather. Not sounding too pleasant.
Already a little bit outdated though, with the Trump caving to Xi Jinping and saying only 30% now. But 30% is still a lot. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a little bit.
That is true. And that kind of leads into the next part of this, which is that Xbox has announced a price increase announced for all consoles, accessories, and games. So essentially, the Xbox Series X is going up by $100 to $599.99. And the Xbox Series S is now $379.99. So going up $80. And some new, which whatever the fuck that means, Xbox games will be $79.99 later this year, following in the footsteps of Nintendo after we were not happy about that. A breakdown of all the price increases includes the Series X Digital Edition, which is now $549.99. The Series X 2 terabyte Galaxy Special Edition is now $729.99. Xbox wireless controller is now $64.99. Wireless controller in color is $69.99. Don't buy that at that price. You can find them on sale all the time. Wireless controller special edition for $79.99. Limited edition variant controller $89.99. Elite Series 2 core controller now $149.99, up $10. And the Elite Series 2 complete set is now $199.99, up $20. So major price increases across the board for Xbox.
I gotta say, you look at the prices of like an Xbox Series X, and it's like, I know PlayStation, you're about to get to it, and PlayStation, Sony's considering increasing their prices as well, but like right now in this moment, if you're at the store and debating which console to get between the two, you look at the prices and like, I could just spend a little bit more money for a PS5 Pro and get Xbox games on the PlayStation. It's kind of a rough week for Xbox last week, which is so interesting though, because like, you know, you look at PlayStation's metrics and the highest games that they were selling on their console were all published by Microsoft. Very interesting though, with like, you know, there's talks of certain third-party developers were like, you know, I don't know where this was at, but some journalists picked up on it. They were like having conversations like, you know, people are debating like, should they focus on even building Xbox ports first for launch anyway, because of, you know, their now new release format of like everything is an Xbox, right? So these games are everywhere and they sell better on other platforms. Just a weird week for the industry with like all these tariffs, all the changing landscape and increasing prices. It feels like so unprecedented, and like I literally have no idea what the next year is going to look like for any of these manufacturers.
Yeah. And you're totally right. If you're looking to even fucking think about getting a PS5 Pro, I would say get it now, because it's probably going to go quite a bit
soon.
Up.
Yeah.
And that leads into this last part of this, which is Sony is considering a PS5 price increase and is open to moving PlayStation manufacturing to the United States. Which I think both Xbox and Nintendo, Xbox and PlayStation are both kind of in a similar situation where they were manufacturing a lot of their consoles in Asia, and therefore the tariffs coming out of seemingly nowhere kind of caught them off guard, and probably a good portion of that is why the prices are increasing. I'm sure there's other metrics and such as well, but I would say most of the impact is probably on the tariffs, and now they're scrambling to figure out like, can we manufacture elsewhere to try to bring the price down? But then it's like, if you're manufacturing in the US, it's going to be more expensive to manufacture in the US than it was their previous partnerships that they had. So I think either way, we're looking at higher prices.
And then timeline for that too is like, if you are going to move any of these like business models, it like locally, right? The timeline for that is so far in advance that like we're talking like PS6, you know,
right?
By the time those were even like relevant, which is so crazy but like you have to think about that far in advance anyway, because like they're, you know, having internal discussions about like their next consoles already. I know that, so it's definitely something to consider if these tariffs are going to stick around for the long run. That's so dumb.
Mm-hmm. Very dumb. Who would have thought that tariffs would increase prices?
But it's the other governments that pay it, remember?
Yeah, right.
Mexico's going to pay for the wall.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, I think Mexico's going to pay for it.
I'm pretty much triangulating the enemies, so...
All right, let's run over some street meets here one item, anyways, that Gage wanted to talk about, and that is Half-Life 3. Could it be announced this year? We got a big Reddit post here from a bunch of different sources, or no, I'm sorry, one source, a bunch of different items from this one source. And we also, after that, we got an article coming by way of Tyler McVicker, who's known for reporting on Valve rumors. And essentially, he is saying that Half-Life 3 is reportedly playable in its entirety and could be announced this year. So the Reddit post here says Half-Life X is being playtested so religiously and so widely that there are individuals who will just talk. I currently have avoided all of them, but I have been offered it by people whom are trustworthy, and I know some of my contemporaries have been given it, so there is information out there about the plot. The game is not VR. Half-Life 3 is not a VR title. The procedural generation in Half-Life X does not relate to terrain or roguelike-ish mechanics, but something like the Left 4 Dead director made significantly more powerful. Doors, physics, props, enemies, enemy types, items, NPCs of any kind will be influenced by said director. Half-Life Alyx had way more leaks compared to Half-Life X thus far. In relation to old Half-Life 3 Episode 3 stuff, the weaponizer, the ice gun, which they revealed in the Half-Life 2 documentary, might not be repurposed for Half-Life X, but what the fuck? Can I not read Valve? Jesus. But Valve is probably keeping their cards close to their chest for this one. Shell might also show up in Half-Life 3. Also talked about this earlier, but it's all mostly fluff. Eric Wolpow wants to do Portal 3 so fucking bad. Why don't you fucking do it then? When answering a question about what single-player project Valve will do after Half-Life X. This is public info and said by Wolpow himself. If he had to guess, Half-Life X will have a summer announcement with a winter release. Project Fremont Steam Machine 2.0 is on hiatus for the moment. Deckard first, then Steam Deck 2.0, then Steambox.
So that's the one I wanted to get to, right?
Okay.
Summer announcement, winter release. This seems too good to be true. But if they did that, I think this would be one of the gaming moments of all time. If Half-Life 3, which has become a meme at this point for like over a decade, is not only real, but here's the announcement for it. Also, it's coming out in 6 months. I feel like that would be such a huge moment, and it would be hilarious to me because then I would, for the rest of my life, say, well, the reason Rockstar delayed GTA 6 is because there's always a bigger fish, and they wanted to get out of Valve's way.
But in reality, Half-Life 3 is not gonna be bigger than GTA 6.
It's not. I think this is like a Christopher Nolan versus the next big Marvel movie thing. They're two different beasts. But at the same time, I think Half-Life is probably in the same realm as Grand Theft Auto in terms of the amount of hype it's going to do for the industry.
Sure.
The amount of people that maybe have never played a Half-Life game, but will see so many people talking about it that they'll just go ahead and buy it just to be in on the conversation. It will be a huge moment in gaming if this is real.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, probably helps Valve quite a bit not having GTA 6 there if it does actually come out this fall.
Yes. And I'm hoping that this is the start of Valve really getting back into gaming. I think my headcanon for this is that similar to when Half-Life 2 came out and they put so much time into that engine, and then that engine became like a powerhouse for like the next 15 years. And they used a lot of that technology for their other games. I'm kind of hoping that that's why we haven't seen a Left 4 Dead 3. That's why we haven't seen a Portal 3, is that they are working on their next generation of, foundation that they're going to use for all their other games. So if this game comes out, like he mentioned that there's this new procedural generation director mode, like I could totally see them launching this game with this, and then suddenly there's a Left 4 Dead 3 that's a few years out, and there's maybe a Portal 3 that's on its way using this technology that they've created for this game.
I hope so. Especially as someone who's not huge in the Half-Life. Sorry, go Craig.
Oh, by the way, Black Mesa is like $1 right now on Steam. But Jeff Keighley at SGF this year on the stage. I'm really excited to bring on this next person. He brings on Gabe Newell on the stage.
That would be crazy. I would lose my shit immediately.
Why'd I just stop talking? I don't know if I told you guys. I officially got tickets for SGF, like show floor, whatever. Like, be present.
Oh yeah,
that'll be neat.
Very cool. You went last year too, right?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I didn't pay for either. I would not pay money to go to this because it's really, it's like it is over $100 to go see SGF in person. That's pretty steep. But I will say, last year, I think I told you guys, I got sat in front of these like two guys who I think did pay to go to SGF, and they were so happy that it made like their like effervescence passed on to me, and I suddenly found myself getting stoked for like just because they were happy. It was kind of a nice moment. Like, oh yeah, right, things are good sometimes, to have a collective like experience with people.
Oh yeah, let's have a collective experience sometime.
Okay.
All right, let's move into the quick bites, guys. To start here, episodes 4 and 5 of The Last of Us HBO series. What are our thoughts?
You want me to go first?
Let me get this straight.
My thing is, my thoughts don't really change a whole lot from week to week. It's pretty much the same. My thoughts are the same consistently, where it's like I've played the game, which is a better experience for me. And that's coming from someone who doesn't like the overall narrative direction of The Last of Us Part 2, but like the actual sequence of events of The Last of Us Part 2 is perfect. It's just obviously I have the problem with that one overarching thing. But anyways, watching the show and comparing it to that, I cannot help to stop myself from comparing it constantly to the game, and that's I just can't get past that. That's a constant thing in my head.
Can I go first? Because I think I have the least amount to say.
Go for it.
As always, this is coming from someone who decided to opt out of watching season 2. So like immediately I'm qualifying everything I'm saying after this with that statement. Like I don't have the full context of the show. Keep that in mind. From the clips I've seen, I think the tone of this seems like all over the place, which just seems like not what the story is, and definitely not what like the first 2 episodes of this season set up. Like everything after the fact that has surfaced online, if it's not anything to do with Isaac or like the surrounding factions in Seattle, when it's just the main characters of Ellie and Dina, seems like tonally out of place.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of like the main problem that people were having with season 2 is like the writing level and just the tone of what these characters, how they're coming across, does not seem anywhere close to what the story, where the narrative is demanding them to be right now.
Yeah, and that's my biggest issue is that is the tone of the show is totally, it's doing a disservice to the subject matter that the game handled much more dutifully, in my opinion. Yeah, I think that episode 5 specifically for me was a huge drop in terms of enjoyment of the show, and I don't know who's, and it's strange to me because Craig Mazin is an accomplished showrunner and writer, and he's done incredible things before. And the same goes for Neil Druckmann, in my opinion. I've liked The Last of Us Part 1, and I've liked The Last of Us Part 2, so I'm not sure how we've ended up here. It seems like they're just not familiar with the subject matter at all. And people are like trying to like really hype up this last episode as like, oh, finally we get to see the Ellie from the games. But like, to me, that's such an admission of like not getting it, because it's like she's supposed to always be Ellie from the games, not just here at this last moment. Like, the fact that you haven't been able to recognize her in the first 4 episodes is exactly my issue with the second season, which is that it seems like they are writing this for the casual audience of like, hey, tune in every week to see, you know, your 2 favorite characters, Ellie and Dina, have fun with each other, and maybe there'll be some spooky, scary things that happen. As opposed to the game, which is like, hey, here's 35 hours of an examination of grief and violence and how it affects people.
The thing for me about these clips that I've seen is like, nothing wrong with like levity and lighthearted moments through the characters, through the writing, through like the, you know, these moments of like easing the tension. But why is she still written like she's still 14? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like some of the lines she's given. I mean, I won't go there. But yeah, I kind of agree. But yeah, but like, why are you writing her this way? Like, why are you making her things like she's still talking and acting like season 1, and that like canonically that's like 5 years ago or whatever.
Right.
Like,
right.
It feels out of place.
I have very similar thoughts to you, Gage, and I think the end of episode 5, that final segment, I was finally like, okay, we're finally getting something here.
Right,
but it is like too little, too late. Like, why is it taking this long to get to that point? And yeah, that is a major issue that I have as well. And I just real quick to go back to, like, I think that Neil Druckmann knows his own material, and I think that Craig Mazin knows the material. I think it's just, in my opinion, I think it's once again the issue of trying to adapt 1-to-1 directly a game into a show. I think it's very difficult to do that, and
I don't know. I think they were trying to course correct from the hate that The Last of Us Part 2 as a game got, and trying to like not have like casual TV audiences feel that same way. But the result is like you've created like something like you've overcorrected.
Yeah, but what hate are they trying to avoid? I'm like, I understand what you're saying about the whole opening of season 2, but outside of that, I don't know what else. I don't know.
It's like I kind of agree with Christian. It seems like they're trying to make things more palatable and intentionally watering things down. So like, I agree with you, Dan. There are always concessions you have to make, but they're like similar to the Halo show with some of our criticisms is like they change things that you didn't have to change. And like, when I think of Ellie's characterization, right? Like, this is obviously we have this scene in the most recent episode that Christian's been referencing all episode, which the triangles and the protractors, and that just felt tonally way out of place to somebody who's supposed to be on a rage-filled mission that is thinking of nothing else. Another good example of that is in the game when Dina reveals that she should I say I guess I can't talk about it. Yeah, I think there are intentional changes being made to make characters more likable at the expense of characters acting true to themselves. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
because I can't get into spoilers. But we'll talk about it when we do our recap.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think yes. I just wanted to point out that I do feel like they understand the source material. They made a different decision. Not that it's a good decision. Right. I'm not saying it's a good decision. I'm just saying that I think they understand it. I think that they're just going for something else.
Judging off season 1, I would argue Craig Mazin does not understand it well enough. But that is a different discussion.
Interesting.
With how involved Neil is, you think Neil would just be like, nah, fuck it. You don't know.
I mean, he's not the showrunner.
No,
you know what
I
mean. At the end of the day, like, he directed an episode. He has some say. He's on producer level, but like, it is written by other people. spearheaded by Craig Mazin.
For sure. I don't know. All right. That's our little quick bite of Last of Us. Next here, we had some Giant Bomb and Polygon turmoil. However, the Giant Bomb stuff ended up turning around since last week. So originally, we had heard that Giant Bomb content is currently on hold while fandom engages in a strategic reset and realignment of our media brands. But then Giant Bomb officially announced at PAX East that Giant Bomb is now independent, and Giant Bomb has new owners, and you're looking at them. Jeff Grubb and company now officially own Giant Bomb.
Yeah, dude, Dan Reichard and Jan. I forget Jan's last name. Very cool.
Very cool. But the Polygon turmoil here. Polygon has been sold to Game Rant owner Valnet, and some staffers have been laid off or will no longer be with the publication. Some Polygon staffers will continue with the publication under its new owner, while others have been laid off, according to posts and internal messages sent to Vox Media employees. Valnet owns more than 27 different brands that cover areas like entertainment, gaming, sports, and travel. That's insane. Not good. Consolidation. All right. Next up here, we have... Oh, by the way, these stories are from last week. If anyone's like, oh my god, these were last week. Yes, we didn't have time last week. Gears of War Reloaded has been announced and is a remaster of Gears of War Ultimate Edition. It is coming to Xbox Series X and S, Windows PC, PlayStation 5, and Steam on August 26th.
Dan, you were someone who was saying that Halo was the next domino, I think was something you said. Maybe you. And are certain that a Halo remake is coming. When do you think we'll see that? If and when?
Yes. I think it's hard because there's a lot of rumors right now. There's been rumors that Halo Infinite is getting ported to PlayStation. There's been rumors that Halo the Master Chief Collection is getting ported. There's been rumors of the Halo remake being, which I think the Halo remake could be the next project, but I'm also hearing rumors that the Halo Infinite sequel is coming out before the Halo CE remake. So now, honestly, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen, but I think the next big Xbox title or franchise, I'm sorry, that's coming to PlayStation is going to be Halo, because at this point, Microsoft hasn't fucking limited anything. At this point, it's I think everything's on the table.
Years, yeah,
which is good in my opinion for gamers. Maybe not necessarily for Microsoft gaming. I don't know, but for gamers, it's definitely a positive.
Depends on what their strategy is. So, and we don't,
right?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think just to jump in on that, like it's funny because I know a lot of the rumors were saying that for the Halo CE remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it, the next big project that we saw that technical teaser for a year ago or so. A lot of the dates people were throwing around was 2026, and now I'm wondering with GTA 6 in the that close that maybe, I mean, November is far enough away, but if online doesn't launch until October, like I could see maybe Microsoft debating on giving Halo its best shot and moving it out of 2026, but we'll see.
I'm not even sure we're getting a Halo game in 2026 at this point.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
It's going to be interesting. Because they just, that engine teaser, that was just in October.
That's true.
Last year.
Was it really?
Yeah. It was just in October.
Yeah.
Time is...
announcement was pretty soon.
So.
Wow.
We'll see. All right. I wanted to throw this out here. I don't know if Glenn's in the chat or not, but I'm throwing his name out there because he actually shared this with me, and I think this is kind of important. Glenn brought this to my attention. Nintendo Switch's latest update has disabled a popular game sharing loophole. So essentially, in layman's terms, the same game sharing that you can do on PlayStation, where you make it the home console and then share it with other people, and same thing with Xbox, where you make a home console and share your games with other people. Nintendo Switch had that, and apparently Nintendo did an update, and it no longer works. You have to use their bullshit like cartridge, whatever share program now, and you can no longer game share with one other person.
So stingy.
Yeah. Glenn brought that up to me because he said him and Emma were playing a game together. They used to play a game together, and they only owned one copy, and just one of them had to be online for the connected version, and then they both could play, but now they can't do that. Kind of shitty.
Are you wondering what game it is, Christian?
No. Not once did I wonder. Everything is shitty now. Remember when you used to be able to share Netflix passwords?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. All right. A new saga begins in Destiny 2 on July 15th, which is the Edge of Fate, their newest expansion. They also announced upcoming expansions: Renegades for winter 2025, Shattered Cycle summer of 2026, The Alchemist winter 2026. What happened, Christian? What's the face?
Renegade Wado?
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Fuck. They also announced a new area in the tower called the Shooting Range, where you can bring your raid team to test weapons and builds with real damage numbers against a variety of combatant scenarios available to all players. A little bit ironic.
11 years to add a shooting range.
Well, it's a little bit ironic because a lot of people wanted this for Marathon, and they're putting it in Destiny.
And Destiny.
But, yeah.
Which means Marathon will get it in 3 years from now.
Maybe.
I think every shooter should have some kind of shooting range. The Cycle Frontier, I think, had one as well, if I remember right. Embark, no, I'm sorry. Arc Raiders does have one. I went to the training range. It was fun.
Oh, yeah. And just a bit more background on Renegades. Renegades is a Star Wars themed expansion that is coming December 2nd, 2025.
And it's canon. It is canon, in the Destiny universe, which is crazy.
It is canon, yes.
So how does that work?
Essentially,
it's stupid is what it is, Gage. Who knows?
No, I know it's stupid, but how does that work? If you're going to add
it's original characters and stories that just have elements of Star Wars. Correct. Yes, it's not.
Okay,
it's not taking place in the Star Wars universe. Yes, it's basically a tie-in, whatever you want to call it.
The
everything's ready for
everything.
Yep.
Mm-hmm,
That is
absolutely.
That is true, but I will say in this particular instance, Destiny is pretty heavily inspired by Star Wars, and I don't think that it's necessarily that crazy. Like a lightsaber instead of a sword, I don't personally think this one's that egregious.
That is Kylo Ren armor in Destiny.
Well, from the
you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I get what you mean. I know, but I'm just saying it doesn't feel out of place, is all I'm saying in this particular circumstance, in my opinion. I don't think it feels out of place. That's up for debate, though.
Whenever I see stuff like this, I just think if Halo started doing this, I would hate it too. It's just that every set of armor or every piece of content that you add that's part of a crossover, it's like that you could have just done something original, right? Like it's like this could have been 3 sets of armor that artists who are working for Destiny that are passionate about Destiny could have come up with and created. So every time, like, it works for Fortnite, but like I hate to see more games. Obviously, we talk about Call of Duty in a negative light. Does this? Like that's all stuff where it's like this could be original content, but instead it's just loner content from another franchise.
I saw a video today of somebody playing Black Ops 6, I think that's the newest one. Yeah. And he's playing the new Nuketown, and he died, and his body turned into a skeleton. And he's like, oh, I turned into a skeleton. And then he died immediately afterwards. Like, oh, I died and turned into a joint. Ace like looked at the camera like, what is this game anymore?
Right.
Like, dude.
And that's kind of my point in this is that like I'm on your guys' side 1,000% with that. Like when we see Seth Rogen fucking killing people and Nicki Minaj, like that shit
crazy.
that doesn't even fit what the game is or the art style. No, it doesn't fit anything. Like if it doesn't fit at all like that, that's
The meme pack, remember that? You were like playing as emojis, but they looked realistic.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
All right. Moving on because we were running low on time. The next Battlefield and Skate is launching by March of 2026 and will continue to be $70? Question mark. EA.
Not Skate.
What?
Skate is confirmed free to play.
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. This is two different statements, and I mixed them.
Right.
Sorry, I did not mean to. Yeah, sorry. EA also announced that they have no plans to raise their prices of their games. Yes, I apologize. I didn't mean Skate is launching $70. I shouldn't have combined those. But yeah, EA being a good guy for once, not increasing their prices. Wow.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, the last story here from last week. Team LFG has joined PlayStation's family with some details on their next game. And of course, Team LFG is the team that came out of Bungie's incubation project called Gummy Bears, was the code name. And they gave a little bit of a tease about their next game. We will make immersive multiplayer worlds propelled by action games that players can learn, play, and master for countless hours. We want to build our games with our communities, inviting players to be a part of our development process through early access playtests. It's critical that we stay nimble enough to react to player feedback, not just in our lead up to launch. Our first game is a team-based action game that draws inspiration from fighting games, platformers, MOBAs, life sims, and frog-type games. Weird wording there, but players will inhabit a lighthearted, comedic world set in a brand new mythic science fantasy universe. We can't wait to reveal more. There it is.
There it is. I'll get excited when I see something to get excited about.
For sure. Yes. All right. Into this week's stories. Death Stranding 2 got some details and has gone gold. Death Stranding 2 on the beach takes place 11 months after Death Stranding 1. It's set in Mexico and predominantly in Australia. Has stunning graphics and environments. Is a lot better game than Death Stranding 1. You can choose stealth, combat, or avoid the enemies altogether. There's going to be more choice and freedom, more action, but it's optional. More similar to Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh, I was waving at Buck.
Oh.
The only thing I'll say about this is it's crazy that the preview event that people got to see for this game was 30 hours. That is a lot of game.
A lot of game. All right. Moving from there, Mafia: The Old Country has a release date with 2 new trailers, new screenshots, a $50 price point, and the publisher essentially saying that I forget what exactly they said in terms of the length. They said something like, oh, here we go. We're excited to offer a game like Mafia: The Old Country in our portfolio and to provide a linear, highly polished narrative experience that can easily complement the other more persistent games our players also love and engage with on a more consistent basis. Yes. Sorry. It is a linear, narrative-driven game with a focused package that offers a cinematic experience. I'm excited about a smaller title and $50 price point. I think that sounds fantastic. Maybe I can finish a game.
I doubt it. Bring back AA games. Very cool.
Fallout Season 2 is officially coming this December, and Season 3 has also gotten greenlit, and we'll start filming sometime soon. Very exciting. Very exciting. A lot sooner than I thought. I thought it was going to be another year until we got it, because filming just wrapped not that long ago. So yeah, December. There we go.
Amazon money.
I can't wait to talk about a video game adaptation that understands its source material.
You're
All right.
so funny, dude.
Moving into our next one, Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. This is Amy Hennig's game, has been delayed to early 2026. They will take this additional time, which will allow them to add more polish and make sure they give you the best possible experience and one that lives up to their vision. We have some exciting things in store and look forward to sharing more soon.
Go ahead.
Two things. One, I still think this is Skydance Games' first game, which will be interesting. And then two, I am right with Paul Tassi when this story broke, who quote tweeted and said, "I had no idea this game was slated for this year." I didn't either.
Fair. That's fair. I was just gonna say this is probably like the only Marvel project that I could remember being excited for in like over 5 years, easily.
Sure.
Very, very excited for this. I was really taken, as were a lot of people, by that initial reveal trailer, and I'm hyped.
I hope I hope it releases, man, because this would be Amy Hennig's first completed project in like 15 years.
Yeah,
That would be great. The canceled Star Wars project at EA.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Last quick bite here. Stalker Trilogy Enhanced Edition has been announced, which is a next-gen upgrade version of the original Stalker Trilogy of games, coming out across PS5, PC, Xbox Series X and S on May 20th, next week.
Next week, wow.
Very soon.
Yeah.
I saw. We gotta get back to
That's pretty
Stalker. Part of Chernobyl. Getting back to.
I played a good chunk of Heart of Chernobyl, and then
Yeah.
I never finished it. It's kind of a long game.
Yeah. All right. Quick drop in on fantasy draft check in here, guys. We have some exciting developments because on Saturday, Dan acquired Arc Raiders with a bid of $9 and dropped game Kirby Air Riders. I didn't believe
It's
that.
crazy.
Kirby.
I didn't believe
It's crazy
in
that you
game.
can do things like this to us while you're playing games with us. That you can just go and be this weasel in the background, because I completely forgot about that,
I know. That was
and
the hope.
I'm very upset.
You got to always be ready to pick shit up, Gage. That's the thing. You got to be ready.
I know.
But no guarantee that comes out this year. I'm hoping, and I feel like we all feel pretty good about it.
Seems like summer might be the move that I've been hearing.
That would be huge.
Which would be fun, man. We get rematch and Arc Raiders in the summer.
Hell yeah.
A lot
That's
of
such a
fun
good
for
back
us.
and forth, dude. That's such a good. All right, we've done a few raids now. We've got our ass kicked. Let's go play some ball.
Absolutely.
And then Dan goes to sleep and we stay up.
And we play another
Grinding-
16 rounds.
Yeah, grinding our rank.
And then an update on the points, guys. Dan has had his 7th game release with Doom the Dark Ages at an 86 on OpenCritic, giving me 16 points. I'm sitting at 100 points now with 7 games released, in first place temporarily, I'm sure, but I'll take it nonetheless. Second place is still Gage Dempster with 40 points and 3 games released. Rowe is still in third with 39 points with 3 games released. And Christian is in last with just 2 games released at 36 points.
I'm coasting.
Ghostin.
I'm waiting for that SGF lineup.
That's fair. What if it doesn't come? What if people are like, we didn't plan on releasing this year because we didn't think GTA, or we thought GTA was coming out this year.
Could happen. Yeah, it could happen. But I also kind of want to see like if there's any like smaller games that might be pretty good, and I
For
might
sure.
drop a couple.
Absolutely. All right. That was Fantasy Draft Check-In. Let's go into what you got for me. Dan, what you got for me? I don't have anything exciting. Nothing new. I am playing the new Halo Infinite update, actually, and the new weapon, the Mutilator, added with the last update last week. So much fun to use. It's a really fun weapon. But outside
Too
of
bad
that,
it's not Halo.
too bad it's not Halo.
Nothing.
What the fuck? All right. Having a lot of fun with that, though. So, anyways, what you got for me, Christian?
Oh, I'm next. What I do? I played Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. The remaster, the UE5 remaster. That's on consoles. It was okay. I missed the level design from the first Ninja Gaiden. So, first time playing Ninja Gaiden 2 all the way, and it was fine. Cool action though. I jumped back into Persona 5 Royal just for fun. That game is long though. It's like 100 hours long, and I'm only like an hour 20. So I don't know if I'll stick with it all the way. Played more Lonely Mountain, the new maps, a lot of fun. And then last thing I want to mention is that Gage and I played this game through Sheldon's recommendation called Solos, which I think is today's the last day of it on sale, and it was. Thank you. Rounds. And it was, I really enjoyed it. It's a 1v1 platform shooter, roguelite, I guess. It's a card-based, not card-based. You get these cards to buff your character. A lot of giggles happened in the 30 minutes that we played, and I want to play more this weekend. It's fun.
Yeah, I think for the next for the foreseeable future, this is going to be that everybody else gets off. All right, Christian, let's go play some rounds. This game is awesome. I'll just jump. I guess I'll jump into mine. I also played Lonely Mountain, which was good. That game desperately needs more content because they really have a really good winning formula with its core gameplay. And then rounds is awesome. It's 1v1 round based match, and pretty much the loser. I think it's like first to 5 points wins.
Yeah.
And if you lose the match, then you get to pick a buff for your character. You get 5 cards to pick from, and you can buff like your bullet speed or your health or your damage or XYZ. And then whoever loses the round gets to pick the buff for the next round, and so on and so forth. And then by the end of the round, or by the end of the game, both people are like super overpowered and doing crazy stuff. Physics-based, good stuff. Very, very fun. Good recommendation, Sheldon.
Amazing recommendation.
And I feel like there was something else that I played that I wanted to bring up, but I cannot.
The finals, the new map on the finals, the new game mode.
I did play a little bit of the finals, and I enjoyed it as I always do. And that's not what I was going to talk about, though. So
while you remember, let me just interject real quick and say I do not like the team deathmatch mode for the finals. I did not like.
It was whatever.
Yeah, the mode is not. I mean, that's not where the final strengths are. The final strengths are in it's game modes and it's cash out. There's a lot of power shift haters in this group. I really like power shift. I think it totally lends itself to the style of the finals. But I can agree that it's TDM is definitely very much like a.
Who doesn't like power shift?
Sheldon's a big power shift hater. He's
power shift is fun. It's fun.
It is awesome. You know, I think so too.
Sheldon is a friend of the show, guys. Let's calm down.
He is, but he's also a hater boy sometimes.
No, I agree.
The one thing I liked TDM for was to try out a couple of weapons I don't use normally. So that was kind of cool just to test them out in that capacity, outside of a training range, like with real people on the opposite end of the gun. That was cool, but that's about it.
I think the training range would make a really good. So I don't know if you've done it with us in a while, Christian, but Dan is usually there for them. Sometimes you do these world tours where it's like it starts and there's a bracket of 8 teams, and it gets knocked down to 4 teams, and then the final match it's just you and one other team.
We've done it before.
these new maps for the TDM, I think would make a great sort of like, oh, you're in the final round of the tournament. Now it takes place on this smaller map, and there's only one cash in.
Oh,
That's how it works, anyways, right? So
Yeah.
if they wanted to incorporate this map into something other than TDM, which again I agree, Dan, is not a very good game mode, I think that would be a cool use for it.
sure.
Absolutely. All right. Anything else, gents?
Yes, Dan, go on your Steam and look up around, see if it's still on sale for $3.
It is. I did that when you said I think today's the last day, and I already installed it.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. All right.
Oh,
Sure. Go ahead.
this isn't even. Oh, I'm just gonna say it now. Sheldon and I and Gage were talking about like if you got it, which now you do. Next time we all play, we can do like a little mini tournament. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
single elimination or whatever.
I'm
Or
done.
maybe best of 3. Yeah.
That was before I fell asleep. There
You love
go.
doing that.
No, he did. He was brushing his teeth. That's right.
Yeah.
You can't play games. You already brushed his teeth.
And then I fell asleep. All right. Thank you again to everyone joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Gage. Thank you, Sheldon, listening right now. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love, and keep on gaming.
See ya.